Sleep on the floor. Naked. 6 words. The translator's voice cracks on the last one. Mikasa, 24, former Imperial Army nurse, feels her stomach drop through the wooden floor. She doesn't hear the rest. Her brain catches on one word. Naked. Every woman in this Philippine transit camp, 23 of them crammed into a room built for 8, hears the same thing. The propaganda floods back. What Americans do to captured women, the warnings whispered in training camps. Only 127 Japanese women held as POWs in the entire Pacific Theater. Tonight, 23 of them are in this room. And an American sergeant just told them to strip. Sergeant Davis, 31, stands in the doorway. Arkansas accent, farm boy shoulders. He's not looking at them. He's looking at the floor. Why won't he look at them? America jin wa watashi tachi o chikushu no yu ni atsukanda. The Americans will treat us like animals. Reiko, 19, the youngest, signals operator captured at Manila, grabs Mikasa's arm. Her fingernails dig in. Blood wells up. Neither of them notices. The room smells like sweat and fear and something chemical drifting from the corridor. Canvas cots creak as women press against walls. Bare feet on splintered wood. Someone is praying. Someone else is crying. Mikasa can't tell who. Sergeant Davis drops something on the floor. Gray wool, a blanket, then another, then another. He doesn't throw them, he places them, carefully, like they matter. 23 blankets, one for each woman. Then he does something that makes no sense. He turns around, walks out. The door swings shut behind him. Mikasa waits for the lock to click, for the bolt to slide, for the trap to close. Silence. She crosses the room. 3 steps. 4. Her hand touches the door handle. Cold metal. Her palm is slick with sweat. She pushes. The door opens. Unlocked. They're unlocked. Any of them could run. The corridor is empty. The guard is gone. No one is watching. Chio, 28, former school teacher, grabs Mikasa's shoulder. Don't. Why? It's a trick. They want us to run. Then they have an excuse. Mikasa's throat tightens. She's right. That's exactly what this is. Bait. But if they wanted to assault them, why leave? Why give them blankets? Why not just... Chio points at the floor. Near the blankets, something white. A piece of paper, folded once, handwritten, in Japanese. The handwriting is shaky. Whoever wrote this was nervous, or rushing, or both. Mikasa picks up the paper. The other women crowd around her, 22 bodies pressing close, breath hot on her neck, someone's elbow in her ribs. She reads aloud. Lice protocol, mandatory delousing, remove all clothing for incineration, sleep on clean blankets, new clothes arrive at dawn, medical inspection follows. This is not punishment, this is protection. Signed, Private Nakamura, U.S. Army translator. The room goes silent. Reiko breaks first. Lice? Japanese propaganda claimed 94% of captured women were assaulted by Americans. Actual documented cases in U.S. custody under 0.3%. But none of them know that number. None of them have any reason to believe this note. Nazikagi o kakanai no? Why didn't they lock it? Chio grabs the paper from Mikasa's hands, studies it, her teacher's eye scanning for forgery. The kanji is wrong. What? Here, and here. Native speaker wouldn't make these mistakes. Mikasa's chest tightens. So it's a trick. No. Chio's voice drops. It's a second-generation speaker, American-born, learned from parents, not school. A Nisei, a Japanese-American, writing notes for enemy prisoners in a language his own country tried to beat out of him. The DDT smell from the corridor grows stronger, sharp, chemical. Not like any weapon Mikasa knows, not like gas, not like poison. Something else. Setsuko, 22, former factory worker, strips off her uniform jacket. Everyone stares. What are you doing? Testing it. Setsuko drops the jacket on the floor, steps back. If they're watching through a hole, they'll come in now. 60 seconds. Mikasa counts her own heartbeats. 90, 1:20. Nothing happens. Setsuko removes her boots, her socks, her undershirt. She stands in the center of the room in nothing but her undergarments. Scarred arms, visible ribs, 4 months of jungle combat written on her body. The door stays closed. They're not watching. Setsuko's voice is flat. Or they don't care. Reiko is crying now. Confused tears. I don't understand. Why would they help us? Mikasa doesn't have an answer. None of them do. Then the door opens. A woman walks in. American uniform. Red Cross armband on her sleeve. Brown hair pinned back. Freckles across her nose. She's carrying a metal canister with a nozzle attachment. White powder visible inside. Reiko screams. The white powder. Reiko thinks it's poison. She's seen the newsreels. Americans gassing prisoners. Biological weapons tested on Asian bodies. The lies loop in her head like a broken record. The nurse stops walking, raises both hands. The canister dangles from her wrist by a strap. Watashi wa anata o kizusukenai. Her Japanese is terrible. Butchered pronunciation, wrong tones. But the words are clear. I won't hurt you. Kanojo wa uso o tsuiteiru. She's lying. Mikasa steps forward, puts herself between Reiko and the nurse. What is that? The nurse, her name tag reads Patricia Keene, doesn't answer with words. She unbuttons her own uniform jacket. 23 women watch as Patricia Keene strips down to her undershirt. She's shivering. The room isn't cold, but her arms are covered in goosebumps. Fear. She's afraid too. DDT reduced lice-related disease in liberated camps by 97%. One application provided 6 weeks of protection. Lice-borne typhus killed 3 million on the Eastern Front. But Patricia doesn't explain any of this. She shows them. She takes the canister, points the nozzle at her own chest, squeezes. White powder hisses. Against her skin, it coats her undershirt, her neck, her arms. She doesn't flinch, doesn't cough, doesn't die. See? She holds out her powder-covered arms. Safe. Mikasa's brain struggles to process. An American woman, making herself vulnerable, stripping in front of enemy prisoners, poisoning herself first to prove it's not poison. This isn't what enemies do. Chio breaks the silence. Let me see the canister. Patricia hands it over. No hesitation. Chio examines the label. English words she can't read. But there's a symbol, a red cross, medical supply. DDT, Patricia says, for lice. Kills bugs, not people. Shinjirarinai, I can't believe it. But Setsuko is already reaching for the canister. Do me next, Patricia nods. Positions the nozzle. The powder hisses again. Setsuko closes her eyes. When she opens them, she's covered in white dust. She runs her hand across her arm, sniffs her fingers. Chemicals, like mothballs, not gas. One by one, the women step forward. Mikasa goes last. The powder is cold, slightly greasy. It smells sharp but not burning. Her skin doesn't blister. Her lungs don't seize. Patricia buttons her jacket. New clothes at dawn. Get some sleep. She turns to leave, then stops. One more thing. Her terrible Japanese cracks on the words. Oisha-san ga hashita kimasu. The doctor is coming tomorrow. Reiko's scream was nothing compared to what comes next. Doctor is the word that breaks them. Mikasa has heard the stories. Every Japanese soldier has. Unit 731, the experiments. Prisoners called logs because that's what you become when doctors stop seeing you as human. Reiko collapses against the wall, hyperventilating. Maruta, we're going to be Maruta. Karera wa watashitachi de jikensuru. They're going to experiment on us. The DDT was a trick. The kindness was a trap. The unlocked door was bait. This is how it starts. Medical examination. Then the cutting begins. Chio grabs Mikasa's shoulders. We have to fight. When the doctor comes, we fight until they kill us. Better than... Stop! Setsuko's voice cuts through the panic. Flat, certain. She's standing by the window looking out at the corridor. Look! Mikasa crosses the room. The window is small, barred, but she can see the medical tent 50 meters away. American soldiers are lined up outside. Hundreds of them, waiting. They're getting the same examination. It takes a moment to register. The same doctors, the same needles, the same procedures. Americans lining up to have their own bodies inspected. If this was torture, why would they do it to themselves? Tuberculosis screening. Mikasa doesn't know this yet. TB killed 1.5 million worldwide in 1945. U.S. Pacific Command, mandatory testing for every soldier, every POW, every nurse, every officer, 0 exceptions. The door opens at 0600, not one doctor, 3, 2 American, 1, Mikasa's breath catches, Asian, Dr. Howard Tanaka, 34, Nisei, born in Sacramento, parents, interned at Manzanar while he served overseas. He chose this assignment specifically. He knows what Japanese prisoners expect from American doctors. Ohayo gozaimasu. His Japanese is perfect, native speaker perfect. The kanji on his clipboard is flawless. I'm going to examine each of you. Temperature, blood pressure, tuberculosis test, small injection, results in 48 hours. I will explain every step before I do it. You may refuse any procedure, but refusal will be noted. Kare wa Nihonjin na noka? Is he Japanese? My parents were born in Osaka. Dr. Tanaka's voice doesn't waver. I've never been. My country locked them in a camp while I wore its uniform. So yes, I understand what it means to be seen as the enemy. He rolls up his sleeve, shows them his own arm, a small raised bump. TB test. I took it yesterday, your turn. Mikasa steps forward first. The needle is cold, 6 inches long. But it's the syringe next to it that makes her freeze. The syringe is filled with clear liquid. Mikasa's heart hammers against her ribs. That's not a TB test. Dr. Tanaka nods. No, it's not. Korega wanada. This is the trap. Penicillin. He holds the syringe up to the light. Your records show you had a wound infection 3 weeks ago, treated with maggots in the field. Infection cleared, but there's a residual bacteria. This kills it permanently. Mikasa stares at him. You read my records? Captured medical logs. Your commanding officer kept detailed notes. He pauses. You saved 14 men at Bataan, field amputations with a pocket knife, no anesthesia. Impressive. She doesn't know what to say. An enemy doctor reading her medical history, praising her work, offering medicine that doesn't exist in Japanese field hospitals. Penicillin production in 1945, U.S. manufactured 650 billion units, Japan 0. The drug that saved millions of Allied soldiers was completely unavailable to the other side. It will hurt, Dr. Tanaka says. Intramuscular injection, deep tissue, but the infection won't come back. Naz watashi o tasukeru no? Why are you saving me? The question slips out before Mikasa can stop it. Dr. Tanaka sets down the syringe, reaches into his coat pocket, pulls out a photograph, creased, worn. A woman in a simple dress, gray hair, tired eyes. My mother. She had tuberculosis. In Manzanar, no medicine, no treatment. She coughed blood for 6 months while I operated on soldiers in Europe. His voice stays flat, but his hands tremble. She died 3 weeks before liberation. He puts the photograph back. I couldn't save her, but I can save you and everyone else who ends up in my tent. That's why. The room is silent. Reiko, who was screaming about Maruta an hour ago, steps forward. Me first. You don't have an infection. I don't care. I want the TB test and whatever else you're giving. One by one, they line up. Mikasa takes the penicillin injection. It burns like fire spreading through her arm. She bites her tongue until she tastes blood. But when it's over, Dr. Tanaka hands her something unexpected. A small card. Her name, her photograph, her medical history. Keep this. If any American soldier asks who you are, show them. It identifies you as a processed prisoner under medical protection. Chio examines her own card. This is documentation, not a number, not a tattoo, a name. The door opens. New clothes have arrived. They're not prison uniforms. Cotton, blue cotton with white buttons. Mikasa hasn't touched fabric this soft since before the war. The dresses arrive in a wooden crate stamped Red Cross Pacific Theater. 23 dresses, varying sizes. Someone measured them. Someone cared enough to approximate their bodies without ever seeing them undressed. Kore wa furio no fuku ja nai. This isn't prisoner clothing. Reiko holds her dress against her chest. Her hands are shaking. There's no number, no stripe, no marking. U.S. POW camps allocated $1.20 per prisoner per day for food and supplies. Japanese camps for Allied prisoners, $0.20, 15 times the difference. Mikasa doesn't know this number, but she can feel it, in the weight of the fabric, the quality of the stitching. Chio refuses at first. It's a trick. They want us to look presentable, for photographs, for propaganda. Then why give us medical cards with our real names? No answer. Setsuko strips off her DDT-dusted undergarments without hesitation. She's already lost her modesty. 4 months in the jungle took that. What she hasn't lost is her ability to recognize opportunity. Clean clothes, clean body, real medicine. If this is propaganda, it's working on me. She pulls the dress over her head. The fabric falls to her knees. For a moment, she doesn't look like a captured soldier. She looks like a woman going to church. Mikasa puts hers on next. The buttons are cool against her fingers. The collar doesn't chafe. There's a pocket on the side. She slips her medical card into it. Identity restored. Reiko dresses slowly, touching every seam. When she's finished, she catches her reflection in the small barred window. Tears roll down her cheeks. I forgot. Her voice cracks. I forgot what I looked like before. Watashi tachi wa hito ni nata. We became people again. The DDT smell fades. The fear fades. Something else fills the room. Not trust, not yet. But the absence of terror, a space where something else might grow. Patricia Keene returns at noon. She's carrying food, real food. Rice, white rice, not the moldy brown they survived on in the jungle. Canned vegetables, powdered milk mixed with water, an American chocolate bar broken into 23 pieces. Lunch, she says. Dinner at 1800, breakfast at 0600. 3 meals, every day, scheduled, guaranteed. Chio eats the chocolate first. She's crying while she chews. Then the door opens again. Sergeant Davis stands in the frame. Doctor wants one of you. The nurse, Mikasa. Mikasa follows Sergeant Davis down the corridor. Her new dress swishes against her knees. Her feet are bare. Shoes arrive tomorrow, and the concrete is cool, almost pleasant. Davis doesn't speak, doesn't look at her. His boots echo. Left, right, left. A rhythm she could time surgery to. The medical tent is bigger than she expected. 3 sections divided by canvas walls, examination area, recovery beds, and a 3rd section with a sign she can't read. Dr. Tanaka meets her at the entrance. Thank you for coming. Watashi ni wa sentaku ga nakata. I didn't have a choice. You did. You could have refused. I would have asked someone else. Mikasa blinks. What? We need translators, medical translators specifically. Prisoners are arriving from other islands, Filipino, Chinese, Korean, some Japanese. They're terrified. They've heard the same propaganda you have. 73 new prisoners processed in the last week. 12 attempted suicide rather than face American doctors. 3 succeeded. You want me to tell them it's safe? I want you to tell them the truth. Show them your medical card. Explain the procedures. Answer their questions. In Japanese. Mikasa's throat tightens. I'm a prisoner. You're a nurse? You have skills? I'm asking you to use them. Teki no ishi no tame ni hataraku? Work for the enemy doctor? I'll pay you. Dr. Tanaka pulls out a small ledger. POW labor regulations. You work, you earn credits. Credits buy items from the camp store, cigarettes, extra food, writing paper. I don't want payment. What do you want? The question hangs in the air. What does she want? To go home? To forget? to understand why nothing is what she was told. I want to know why your mother's photograph is worn on one corner like someone holds it every day. Dr. Tanaka goes still. His hand moves to his coat pocket, touches the photograph through the fabric. Because I do. Why? To remember what happens when the system fails, when medicine becomes politics, when doctors become bureaucrats. He meets her eyes. She died because no one fought for her. I fight for everyone who ends up in my tent, even enemies. Mikasa extends her hand, an American gesture, one she's never made before. I'll translate, on one condition. Name it. You teach me, whatever medicine you know that we don't. I want to learn. Dr. Tanaka shakes her hand. Behind them, the tent flap opens. A new group of prisoners stumbles in. They're screaming. The screaming isn't fear, it's recognition. Mikasa spins around. The new prisoners, 8 women, Japanese military auxiliary, are pointing at her dress, at her clean skin, at the medical card, visible in her pocket. Uragiri mono, Carrera to Netanoka? Traitor, did you sleep with them? The tallest woman, Noriko, 26, former supply clerk, lunges forward, fingernails aimed at Mikasa's face. Sergeant Davis catches her mid-air, pins her arms. She keeps screaming, "They bought you, like comfort women. You let them—" "Stop." Mikasa's voice cuts through the chaos, calm, clinical. The voice she used in field surgery when men were dying around her. They didn't touch us, any of us. Documented sexual assault cases in U.S. POW camps, Pacific Theater, 0.07%. Lower than assault rates within the Japanese military itself. But Noriko doesn't know that number. All she knows is propaganda. Uso da, America Jinwa, the DDT powder. Mikasa steps closer. They made us strip, then they dusted us for lice, then they gave us clean blankets and left us alone, in an unlocked room. Noriko stops struggling. Confusion replaces rage. Unlocked? The whole night. We could have run. Nobody stopped us. That doesn't... The doctor. Mikasa pulls out her medical card. Nisei, Japanese-American. His mother died in an internment camp while he served overseas. He tests every prisoner, treats every infection, gave me penicillin for a wound that would have killed me in 6 months. Noriko stares at the card, her name, her photograph, real documentation. This is a trick. Then why would they teach me? Mikasa gestures at the medical tent. He's training me, suturing techniques, antibiotics, things we never had access to. Why would enemies share their secrets? Dr. Tanaka steps forward, slow, non-threatening. He addresses Noriko in perfect Japanese. You have a choice. Trust us, temporarily, and receive medical care, or refuse and remain untreated. Either way, you will not be harmed. You will not be assaulted. You will not be used for experiments. Shinjiro and I can't believe it. You don't have to believe. Just watch. He turns to his assistants. Bring the examination equipment. Same protocol as the others. TB test, blood pressure, temperature, full transparency. Noriko's hands are shaking. Mikasa reaches out, takes one of them, feels the calluses, the broken nails. The 4 months of terror written on her skin. I was you, 12 hours ago, screaming inside, waiting for the worst. What changed? Mikasa squeezes her hand. The worst never came. 3 weeks later, Mikasa has translated for 247 prisoners. She knows their faces, their fears, their propaganda-soaked nightmares. But it's Chio who breaks her. Midnight. The barracks are quiet. Reiko sleeps curled around her cotton dress like a child with a blanket. Setsuko snores softly. 21 women breathing in synchronized peace. Chio sits by the window, staring at nothing. I need to tell you something. Mikasa sits beside her. The moonlight catches the gray in Chio's hair. She's aged 10 years and 4 months. They all have. Before I was a teacher, before the war. Chio's voice is barely audible. I worked at a hospital, Harbin, Manchuria. Harbin? Mikasa's blood goes cold. Unit 731 was nearby. We received patients from there for recovery observation. Chio's hands won't stop shaking. They weren't patients. They were what was left. After. Unit 731, estimated 3,000 victims. Vivisection without anesthesia. Frostbite experiments. Biological weapon testing. Prisoners called logs, Maruta, because that's what you do with wood. You use it and burn it. I didn't participate. I swear I didn't. But I saw, I knew, and I said nothing. Tears streamed down Chio's face. She doesn't wipe them. When the Americans told us to strip, I thought, this is justice. What we did to others, they'll do to us. It made sense. It was fair. Watashi tachi ga shinjita ita koto wa subete usodata. Everything we believed was a lie. But they didn't. Chio turns to face Mikasa. They gave us powder and clothes and medicine and food, and they explained every step, and they asked permission. Her voice breaks. We never asked permission. We never explained. We never treated them as human, and now our enemies are showing us what humanity looks like. Mikasa doesn't have words. What do you say to confession? What do you say to a woman who witnessed atrocities and is only now understanding the weight? She takes Chio's hand, holds it tight. What we did, what Japan did, doesn't change what we deserve. Everyone deserves to be treated as human. That's not forgiveness. It's principle. Chio pulls Dr. Tanaka's mother's story from memory. A woman who died without treatment, whose son became a doctor to save the enemies of the country that killed her. How do you keep going after seeing what you've seen? Mikasa looks at the sleeping women, the clean dresses, the medical cards. You use it. You become better. You teach others. The door opens. Patricia Keene stands there. It's time. August 15th, 1945. The Emperor's voice crackles through the radio. Surrender. Mikasa stands in the medical tent. Her white coat, American issued, her name stitched on the pocket, hangs perfectly. 3 months of training. 400 patients treated. 1 woman transformed. Teki wa, teki ja nakata. The enemy wasn't the enemy. Of 127 Japanese women POWs in U.S. custody, 126 survived. The single death heart attack, age 67, 3 weeks before the surrender. Natural causes, no violence, no assault, no experiments, 0. Dr. Tanaka finds her packing, not much to pack, the dress, the medical card, a small notebook filled with surgical techniques she's memorized. You're leaving. Japan needs doctors, real ones, trained ones. She meets his eyes. You taught me enough to start. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out the photograph. His mother, worn on one corner from daily touch. Take it. I can't. My mother believed that enemies were forever, that war made divisions permanent. She died believing that. He presses the photograph into Mikasa's palm. Prove her wrong, go home. Heal people, all people. Show them what you learned here. Mikasa's throat burns. She looks at the photograph. A tired woman in a simple dress, gray hair, eyes that hold more pain than any wound Mikasa has sutured. I'll carry her. That's all I ask. Reiko appears at the tent entrance. Her cotton dress is packed in a bundle under her arm. She's kept it for the journey home. We'll keep it for 40 years. When her grandchildren ask why, first time anyone treated me like a human being, not an enemy, not a uniform, a human. The ship leaves at dawn. 23 women board. Clean clothes, medical clearances, documentation proving they were processed, treated, and released without incident. Chio stays behind. 3 more weeks, she tells Mikasa. I'm translating for the new arrivals, showing them what I wish someone had shown me. Atonement through action, the only kind that matters. Mikasa stands on the deck as the Philippines shrink to a line on the horizon. The photograph is in her pocket, the notebook in her bag, the medical card around her neck. Sleep on the floor, naked. 6 words that nearly broke them. What came after? The powder, the dress, the needle, the truth. Built something no propaganda could destroy. The cruelest weapon isn't the bomb. It's the lie that makes you fear kindness. Mikasa touches the photograph, feels the worn corner, and begins to plan. She has a country to heal.